Hello.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay.
I am going to be muting so I don't disrupt anybody.
Good. Okay, there's my camera. Yeah, when I start, I'll mute everybody anyway. Everyone's on it.
What's that noise? I'm not sure. So this is the gallery view,
There's okay.
and then you're going to want to click that again.
She's just talking.
Where I click this?
Yep, the gallery view.
Why aren't you?
Okay. Thank you. All right, I think we have the technical issues hammered out. So, hello everybody, welcome. And it looks like we're a minute after the hour, and I was just giving everybody just a minute to get in. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to set up my screen share. Okay. So here we are. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Dr. Lauren Pihlgren. No pill makes you grin, like Dr. Pihlgren. I have been a naturopathic physician in practice for 15 plus years. Prior to the pandemic, I had been offering hands-on medicine for chronic disease disruption and chronic pain reduction, including non-steroidal injections, IV nutrition, ozone and UV light IV treatments, osteopathic manipulation, and much, much more. But now, like many other medical offices and businesses everywhere, we are shifting our focus to more online telemedicine friendly options. And while I have been doing generalized medicine and history taking, which I believe is a form of therapy, I have taken the stay-at-home order as an opportunity to officially get certified in cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a structured, short-term, present-oriented therapy directed towards solving current problems and modifying inaccurate or unhelpful thinking and behavior. And we will talk more about this near the end of the presentation. Unfortunately, facing hard times is just another part of life. Luckily, there are many ways to help you cope, no matter what difficulties lie ahead. And today we'll focus on some of those areas of self-care to help you manage stress and stay healthy during these challenging times. Stress can cause fear and anxiety, or it can make them worse. Stress will eventually lead to changes in sleep and eating patterns, and stress will cause chronic and mental health conditions to get worse or possibly become unpredictable. For some, trying to cope with the stress causes them to turn to unhealthy behaviors, like indulging in cakes, cookies, chips, candies, or one of my personal favorites, baked pasta casseroles with ooey gooey, rich and creamy, cheesy sauces. But stress may also cause some of us to turn to the use of alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs and medications. How you respond to stress or difficult times in your life may look different than how others respond. It's important to remember that everyone reacts uniquely to stressful situations. There are healthier options, and then there's this person here on this slide. She looks happy to be indulging, doesn't she? It sounds trite, but really the key is moderation. There is a strong connection between your body and your mind. This means that in order to reduce stress, you need to take care of your body too. This means eating a nutrient-dense diet, finding ways to move your body, and allowing both your body and your mind to rest. I have a couple of nutraceuticals, as I like to call the supplements, because they really are prescription grade. And so instead of being a pharmaceutical, it's a nutraceutical. And I always offer on a very general basis that anyone who's trying to support their health uses a good multivitamin. You can add in some sleep support if you're having difficulty either falling or staying asleep, or especially if you are experiencing both. And because a lot of us are stuck indoors or aren't able to get out as often as maybe we want to be, a vitamin D is always a good thing to help with depression and anxiety and mood stabilization. So those are some products that you'll find in the follow-up email tomorrow. There'll be a link that you'll receive separate from me from our online store, which is called Full Scripts. That's F-U-L-L, Full Scripts. You'll receive an email from them with a link to these products that I'm describing. And because you're live with us today, we'll give you a little happy bonus of an extra 5 or 10% off. I can't remember which it is, to tell you the truth. Believe it or not, there is one surefire way to stop stress in its tracks, and that's breathing. Because we have so many things on our minds, on our plates, and on our to-do lists, we naturally tend to breathe shallowly and therefore more quickly throughout the day. And stress can make that breathing quicker and even more shallow. However, when we take a moment to simply place our attention on that function and breathe on purpose rather than automatically, we breathe more deeply, fully utilizing our lung capacity, and our entire physiology changes. When you breathe deeply, you not only send increased amounts of oxygen throughout your body, but your brain also responds by sending the body a message to calm down and relax. Additionally, any type of squeezing or compression action will increase the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is the side that allows you to digest your food, rest, relax, and calm down after times of stress. Sometimes we need a little help calming down the fight or flight side of things, and they make products all ready for these types of situations, such as the Thunder Shirts for nervous animals and stress squeeze balls for executives under pressure and the like. But to tell you the truth, hugs are a great way to help calm a person down. Great big squeeze them tight bear hugs. Or even just clasping your hands together and literally squeezing as tight as you can, and then some, will actually help to reduce your stress and anxiety and increase your parasympathetic. So let's review some simple breathing techniques that anyone can master to instantly reduce stress. Diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing can lower your stress levels, reduce your blood pressure, and regulate other important bodily processes. The basic procedure for diaphragmatic breathing is to first find a comfortable position. You can either sit or lay down, but make sure that your shoulders are relaxed. You can place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. And if you're lying down, when I used to do this exercise more regularly, I like to put a book on my stomach and watch it rise and fall so that I had that visual impact that I was doing the exercise correctly. So once you find your comfortable position, inhale through your nose for about 2 to 4 seconds. You should experience the air moving through your nostrils into your abdomen, making your stomach expand. During this type of breathing, make sure your stomach is moving outward while your chest remains relatively still. When you blow your breath out, purse your lips together as if you're about to blow out a candle or perhaps whistle, and gently press on your stomach as you exhale slowly for about 2 to 4 seconds. And for the best results, you're going to want to repeat this process several times. When feeling stressed, it is not uncommon to turn to food. Unfortunately, seeking comfort from food can cause negative emotions in the long run. Relief from overeating or overindulging in rich treats will be short-lived, potentially leading to requiring increasingly more to be satisfied. Instead of stress eating, let's talk about eating to reduce stress. Honestly, I personally am quite lucky in this area as I have no sweet tooth to speak of, which allows me to literally take 1 or 2 bites of cake and be satisfied. However, put a cheesecake or pepperoni pizza in front of me and I will require many, many more than 1 or 2 bites, I assure you. However, while I am a carnivore, there are not many vegetables that are safe for me. And some of my personal favorites include red cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, orange bell peppers, onions, Brussels sprouts, arugula, and baby bok choy. And really, honestly, that's just to name a few. And I tend to cook them all together, so it ends up being quite a colorful dish. So what you're looking at here are not the colorful dishes that I cook for myself and my husband, but they're the meals that I have prepared for our 4-legged kiddos. On the left in the bigger bowl without the fork in it are various vegetables that I have simmered and then left in their own water so that the nutrients are actually retained, but the veggies themselves are soft so that we used to have 3 4-legged kiddos and we're down to 1 at the moment, and his poor little teeth are hard to use, so we make sure all of his food is really soft. And there's usually a mix of broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, carrots, bok choy, and sometimes squash. Red cabbage I give him raw, but I shred it up really finely. Tomatoes and arugula are also given to him and chopped up as small as possible. And at least once a day, I give him what's called chlorella caps, which is a lot like spirulina, and it's just for extra plant protein for him. So it's no secret that we should all be active every day, from maintaining mobility and reducing injury to improving mental health. There are countless benefits to physical activity. The physical effects of stress can manifest in a number of different ways, such as headaches, insomnia, anxiety, weight gain, muscle aches and pains, crankiness, and difficulty focusing. While removing all stress from our lives is not possible, managing stress can help you avoid some of the negative symptoms. One of the best forms of stress management is exercise. Doing something physical helps get your mind, get your mind and your body out of the fight or flight stress response so your body feels better. Virtually any form of exercise or movement can increase your fitness level while decreasing your stress level. The most important thing is to pick an activity that you actually enjoy. The key word here is fun. If you don't like it, you're not going to do it. Unstructured activities are a great way to get moving. I like to turn up the radio and bounce around cleaning the house to classic rock and Moldy's Oldies stations on Pandora. Or sometimes I turn on an old favorite movie to which I know all or most of the lines so that I'm able to straighten up the bedroom or fold the clothes or, gosh forbid, organize the closet. But I don't have to look at the screen, and so I can still be entertained by the movie while I'm being productive. And happy bonus, when I'm all done, guess what? In addition to completing a project that probably needed to be done for ages, you'll gain a tremendous sense of accomplishment, achievement, and self-esteem from the tangible evidence that you are capable of doing anything you actually put your mind to, as they say. Of course, once you get cleaned up and organized, it's much, much easier to keep it that way. Sleep is a crucial aspect of stress management and physical self-care. Adults need anywhere from 7 to 9 hours each night, but I bet even now, few of us are getting this much real sleep from which we awaken refreshed and ready to tackle a new day. Stress can be the cause of troubled sleep. However, the lack of sleep often leads to increased stress levels, which of course is a nasty, vicious cycle. To ensure a good night's rest, try creating a bedtime routine to help signal your body that it's time to wind down. Try to go to sleep and wake at the same time each day, even on the weekends. Some nighttime relaxation activities that you may want to look into include stretching, reading, meditating, taking a hot bath, and drinking a warm cup of tea. There's a little caveat here though. You need to try to avoid using electronics 30 minutes before sleep and resist the urge to scroll through social media and check work emails if that's something that you are prone to doing. The blue light from the screen has a lot of research behind it that it signals your brain that it's daylight because it's blue. And so you end up, your brain ends up thinking that it should be time to wake up rather than go to sleep. So if reading is one of your relaxation activities, I highly recommend an actual page reading book. And lastly, avoid vigorous activity, large meals, and caffeine close to bedtime, as these are all things that will also wake the system up. Social health refers to your relationships and the connections that you have with the people in your life. Out of necessity, we've evolved into social beings. Cooperation with one another enhanced our ability to survive under harsh environmental circumstances. Deep connections to others is a vital aspect of well-being. The best way to cultivate and maintain close relationships is to put time and energy into building your relationships with others. Unfortunately, it's easy to neglect your relationships when life gets busy, and before you know it, stress and loneliness can creep in. The good news is, in this day and age, no matter where in the world your loved ones are located, remaining connected is easier than ever. Communication is a key aspect of staying connected. When we're feeling stressed, anger and frustration can easily take over and have a negative effect on your communication skills. Sharing your feelings of stress with others can help relieve that stress. Listening to others discuss their stress can also help you feel less alone. Allowing yourself to open up and be vulnerable to loved ones is a restorative form of self-care. And some tips to help include being able to value yourself and knowing your options, knowing what your needs and wants are, expressing negative thoughts in a positive way, being able to receive feedback positively, and being able to listen when others are speaking. Now, in a few slides, I will go into more depth, but if you are having difficulty with any of these ideas, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am offering cognitive behavioral therapy sessions designed to teach people how to have an entirely different relationship with their thoughts and emotions. So if you feel like your thoughts and emotions are controlling you instead of the other way around, stay tuned. We have solutions for you. Our thoughts and the way we think about ourselves greatly influence our psychological well-being. Mental self-care involves doing things that help you stay mentally healthy. Practicing self-compassion and acceptance, for example, helps you maintain a healthier inner dialogue. There are many techniques you can use to reduce stress while practicing mental self-care. This then starts to become the meat and potatoes of cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT is a present tense, goal-oriented, problem-solving therapy that by definition has a beginning, a middle, and, drumroll please, an end. What that means is that we will start with the issues which brought you to therapy right now in real time, and we will work together to find solutions to the problems with which you are tackling currently. If you were a relatively happy and mentally healthy person before the pandemic, and your goal is to learn tools to help you cope with being cooped up with your kids or your spouse or your parents or yourself, depending on your underlying thoughts and beliefs, you could be done with therapy entirely in just a few months. If, however, you have been suffering with anxiety, depression, or any number of other issues, including eating disorders, migraines, or a distorted sense of self, then therapy may take longer than a few months. But I guarantee you that there will be an end. Once we reach the goals that you yourself set, therapy may be terminated. Of course, there's always the option to make a new goal. I kid. I'm a kidder. But seriously, you will learn skills with which you will be able to much more easily navigate the treacherous world of thoughts and emotions without being tied to their meaning in the same way you used to be. And you can take those skills with you outside of the therapy office, and you can apply them to your everyday life. And you will start to learn these skills almost immediately upon entering therapy. One thing that can significantly impact your stress level is your attitude. Pessimists, perfectionists, and those with the type A personalities, for example, may have a tendency to self-sabotage with negative thoughts and behavior patterns. Try to take a more positive outlook. If you look hard enough, there's always some good to be found in any situation. The hard-to-face moments in life often provide teachable moments, but it's up to you to figure out what the lesson is to be learned. Rather than focusing on the negative things happening around you, try to search for the positives. Now, I understand, trust me, that this is way easier for me to say than for you to do. Not only have I tended towards depression my entire life, but I have also acquired what I call a perfection loop, which means that there are, or were, many things that I would not even attempt to do at all if I did not think that I could even come close to doing them perfectly the first time. How insane is that? But there it is. Now I try to build everything with the best foundation as possible, because that is just good common sense. A good foundation is the basis of everything, right? So I try to build the best foundation as possible. And after that, I know that I will have many opportunities to fine-tune things as I go. And that means that I get to make them more and more perfect as time goes on. And you too can learn how to take a perceived negative and turn it into a glorious positive for yourself. So that's it, folks. Thank you for taking part in today's event. I know during times of stress, it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I assure you there is a light, and I also promise that it is not a train. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. And for additional information on anything we discussed, please feel free to email me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And I'm going to go into the chat and see if there are any questions. Okay. I don't see any questions. Did anyone have anything that they were? Okay, someone made a comment. Thank you for offering this, and you're welcome. I appreciate your thank you.
Same here. Very helpful information. This has been a really frustrating time. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
and you said we'll be getting emails with links to this video again if we need to go back and take notes?
Yes, I recorded this live webinar, and I will send an email which will have the link to the recording of this webinar, so you could listen to it again if you wanted to, or send it to someone you think might be interested in it. They could just send, they could have it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then another email will come, not from me, it will come from Fullscripts, but once you open the email, it will reference Dr. Lauren Pihlgren, and it will have a link to the products that I spoke about earlier, the multivitamin and the sleep support and the vitamin D. And that will have a nice little discount associated with it as well.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm not screen video sharing. I was dressed for the pandemic today.
Oh,
So.
that's fine. They don't have to be. Okay, someone else wrote in, I like turning a negative to a positive. Any idea how to start that? Yes, it's very difficult to tease that out on your own. you know, it's best to kind of dig it into littler chunks and just try to look at what's happening in any kind of different perspective, because even if you moved even 1 degree to either direction, you're going to see something different in your sight if you were actually looking at the horizon. So if you could even shift your perspective in any which way that makes sense to you in a moment, that would be a great place to start. Does anyone have any other questions?
No, but we have a massive thunderstorm happening, so I might lose you in a minute.
Well, thank you for joining us. Okay.
And if most of you are in Arizona, this is what a thunderstorm sounds like in North Carolina. It's fun.
They don't have one here.
Okay. So I did notice, I went to screen share just a couple of minutes after 11, and as I exited screen share, I saw some people had been stuck in the waiting room. I apologize to those couple of people. And I hope that you heard that we are recording, and that tomorrow you will receive an email with the link to the recording so that you can tune in and hear what you missed and things of that nature. Also, for
It's
those
hard to type sideways.
another email will come from our online store, which is called Full Scripts. That's Full Scripts, Full Scripts. It will not come from me, Dr. Pihlgren. The Full Scripts email will reference me, but it will come from them. And it will have a link to the products that I spoke about, which were a multivitamin, a sleep support, and a vitamin D. And that link will also have a little discount associated with it as well for being part of the live webinar today. Okay, I apologize to those of you who have heard that 3 and 4 times. Okay. Let me just check there aren't any more. Okay, I don't see any more questions popping up in the chat, so I thank you to everybody, and I will go ahead and log us all off. Thank you again for joining. I hope you enjoyed the information.